Hey guys, welcome into another episode of 410 Sports Talk. I'm James Haskell here with my co-host Glenn Martin reporting from the castle. That's right. They let me in. They gave the security guard a sandwich and he let me on through. No, I'm just kidding. Reporting from my basement in all actuality. This video is exciting because we get back now to the wave, the second wave, what I would consider to be the second wave of free agency. We're going to be talking about the post-draft free agency market and some potential fits for the Ravens. So before we get into identifying some players, Glenn, why don't you let us know, for those out there who might not know how it works, how does it work as far as post-draft goes and the compensatory picks for the future when you're signing free agents?
Yeah, well, so as of yesterday at 3 p.m., no free agents that were cut. If you want to sign any free agents that were cut by another team, it will not affect your comp picks for the following year. So as of yesterday at 3 o'clock, any free agent can be signed without negatively affecting their comp picks for next year. So right now it looks like we're still in order to get a third or a fourth for Michael Pierce, signing with Denver. Is that who these?
Vikings.
Who was it?
The Vikings.
Okay, Minnesota. Okay. So right now, anyone can go. You know, we can sign anyone right now. And obviously, the Ravens didn't waste any time by grabbing DJ Fluker quickly after he was cut from Seattle. And we just got done doing a video about our thoughts there. So there's still a ton of free agents out there that I think could come in and help this team. So of that list, what's one name that immediately jumps to your head, Jimbo?
Yeah, one name, if you're limiting me to one.
Well, we're going to go through a few, but who's the first?
But the first name that pops to my head, and I know people think it's unrealistic, but I don't think it is Jadeveon Clowney.
Yeah.
I still think that we can structure a deal that he would be okay with, like as far as 1 year goes. And, you know, if we did a little bit of cap space, cap room gymnastics, financial gymnastics with Stanley and a couple other guys.
Maybe Judon?
Right, Judon, to offer us some relief this year to get Jadeveon Clowney in. So he's the first one that pops off the list at me. And I think, I mean, I don't know what defense he doesn't fit. I know some people aren't huge fans of Jadeveon Clowney, but whatever you think of his effort, his gifts cannot be denied. And the games that he's on, he's an elite talent. So Jadeveon Clowney is one that pops off the list immediately at me. But that would be, to me, a little bit different than the other ones, where the other ones I would consider like bargain shopping. And Jadeveon Clowney is definitely not looking for a bargain at this point.
No, he wants to be paid like a quarterback, and I think that's why he's still a free agent because his production just doesn't match his talent at all times. So makes you wonder if it's a motor issue or what. But, you know, he's too good to only have – what did he end up, like 3 sacks last year or something stupid? I mean, that's way too low for a player, his talent. So a guy that I think that is the most puzzling to me as to why he's still a free agent is Marcus Golden. I mean, I look at what he did last year for the Giants, and I can't understand why he's a free agent. I mean, he's 6'3", 260, so he would fit us from a size perspective. He had 42 solo tackles last year. He had 15 assists. And he had 12 sacks. You know, 12 sacks. I mean, to me, that's just – I mean, I don't know. It's just shocking the fact that a guy with 12 sacks is still a free agent. And to my understanding, he isn't asking for nearly the money that Clowney's requesting. I mean, did you have a estimated value of his? Yeah,
so what they did, it was really interesting. They
10 sacks. I'm sorry, he had 10 sacks, but go ahead.
But he's had multiple years, though, with, like you were talking about, with double-digit sacks. So it was really interesting. What the Giants did was they tagged him, or I don't know what the term is. They signed him, tagged him, whatever, designated him to a restricted free agent tender. So you rarely hear about him, but what it is essentially is that they're placing this tender on him, and it means that if he goes unsigned past July 22nd, he can negotiate with other teams at this point, but he can get 110% of his previous deal. They're restricting his raise essentially. So it comes out to be $5.2 million is what he would get as far as salary this coming season if he doesn't get a deal done with another team. So it sounds like they don't want him.
And then they have the ability to match. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So he's not completely open for anyone, but somehow I had the wrong stats. So he had 72 combined total tackles and 10 sacks. But so I just want to put that out there. But back in 16, he had a 12.5 sack season. So
right.
Yeah, I mean, I think he would fit with us great. I think we still need to find some veteran. I think we need to add a vet to the outside linebacker edge rush team. I mean, I like Judon, but outside of Judon, I don't have anyone that I'm in love with. I mean,
yeah,
I think they each bring something to the table, but Judon to me is the only one that's, a player that really makes me confident. I mean, I think who's the guy we brought back got him from the Colts mid-season. He played well for us, and we just re-signed him.
You always forget his name.
Jihad Ward. Yes, I know. I don't know what's up with that. So, yeah, I mean, I like Jihad Ward as a run guy. I don't like him against the pass. And then you have, of course, Bowser and Ferguson, who came on a little bit, but to me, I'm still not sold on them. So I think Golden would be an awesome, awesome guy to bring in, and he would provide some much-needed pass rush from the edge.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think that would be an awesome fit. I wonder what his price tag is. Like, what is he looking for? Is he looking for a prove-it deal? Is he looking for – I mean, I guess everyone's looking for long-term stability, especially I think he's 29. Is that correct?
Yeah.
29 years old. So he's going into the latter half, the back nine of his career, if you will. But that could be an interesting one as well. I think overall the theme of this year is, I mean, I could be overreacting, but I think the theme of this year is Super Bowl or bust. And I think a lot of guys know that. I think the front office knows that. And so, once again, I might be overreacting, but I think that is definitely a legitimate case for us as the Ravens, as an organization. So I like that pick. If he wants a one-year prove-it deal, I don't know how much I would give him long-term. Another name, as far as outside guys, I'm going to throw two other names at you because I think they would take one-year deals at acceptable salaries. Ezekiel Ansah and Clay Matthews. I like them both. They obviously, we know who Clay Matthews is, but for those of you probably know Ziggy or Ezekiel. You've probably seen him playing with the Lions or most recently with the Seahawks. But he's shown flashes. I know he's had injuries. However, he's still on, I think, developing as a football player based on his lack of experience. So what do you think about either of those guys? I mean, I know that you're going to say that Clay Matthews is the better fit.
Yeah.
I think I would agree with you. But would you welcome Ziggy in? Do you think that could be a fit as well? Or is that a guy you would kind of want to leave to the side?
Well, I think you touched on the Ezekiel Ansah thing. To him, or to me, for him, it always comes down to health. I mean, if he's healthy and then he can contribute. But I don't know. If I had to choose from the two, I would say Clay Matthews because of the fact that he's more versatile. He can play inside and outside, and I think he's a little bit healthier than Ansah. I don't remember the last time Ansah had a season in which he was healthy, if he's ever had a season in the NFL where he was completely healthy. So to me, I wouldn't really want to touch him. But I think there's a bargain guy that a lot of Ravens fans have stopped talking about that is coming off an injury, but we could get him for a really cheap deal, and we know what he brings as a leader, and that's Pernell McPhee. Bringing him back, he's still sitting out there. We know he knows how to play like a Raven. We know he's a great leader. He can put the dog in all these guys and help them understand what it means to play like a Raven. And he was playing darn well before he got hurt last year. I mean, he was one of our shining spots from a pass rush standpoint, and he can hold up against the run. So I think he would be a heck of an addition that I think we could get on probably a vet minimum. So I really like. I like bringing back McPhee on a guy that you could get on for a really, really cheap deal.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think any of those three scenarios, like you said, based on health with McPhee and with Ansah, any of those three scenarios, unless we go berserk and break the bank, which Eric DaCosta won't do, I think we come out winning because we would end up taking a flyer. I think there's a lot more reward than there is risk associated with those guys. And even Marcus Golden, I think you can lump him in there too, depending on, what type of deal he wants and he's looking for. But another guy, not an edge rusher, that I think is somebody that we should not forget about that's out there as a free agent who, it might be a while before he comes back, but Brandon Carr is, of course, a free agent. And I know that Jimmy will kind of be taking over a lot of his responsibilities, but look, our former GM, Ozzie Newsome, said it. You can never have enough pass rushers. You can never have enough corners. And we know Brandon Carr can do it. We know that he's done it. We know that he's versatile and he's reliable, right? So I think that's another guy that I would be interested to see what type of deal he's willing to take. And I would absolutely welcome him back in based on his leadership, his reliability. He's just steady, man. The guy is just steady Eddie. I'll tell you what. What do you think about that?
I'm sorry. Who was that?
That's Brandon Carr.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think you know what you get from Brandon Carr, but I just don't know how he would make the team because right now I count 6 corners on our roster that I would almost guarantee to make the team unless something crazy happened. That's Imam Marshall, Anthony Averett, and then the other 4 that we already know with Young, Smith, Humphrey, and Peters. So I just don't know how. I don't know if they'd keep much more than 6, but I wouldn't be mad if they brought him back. I think he's like the type of player you could keep that you wouldn't need to worry about him getting an off-season program, and you can kind of keep him as our extra man on the roster that's out there that hopefully he doesn't go anywhere else. But honestly, I expect him to sign with another team if he's still interested in playing, just because it's a numbers game, and I don't know how they can fit him in unless they want to get rid of Averett or Marshall. I don't know how they bring him back, but I wouldn't be mad if they did. But one guy you mentioned that I think is interesting. I don't know what his health situation is, but I think if he's healthy, he can add something to us, and that's Delanie Walker, the tight end, formerly of the Titans, and then before that the Niners. He's 6'2", 250 pounds, and he just didn't play a lot last year because he got hurt. I think he broke his ankle, if I remember right.
He's 38, huh?
Yeah, he's an older guy, but look, what we would ask him to come in to do wouldn't be to carry the heavy load. You know, we would ask him to come in and just complement Boyle and Andrews and help those guys out, because this guy, man, he's one of the most talented tight ends we've seen in the last decade, and if he's healthy, I think he could come in and he's looking to win, and I think he could come in and help this team. But again, it's all going to come down to health and if the Ravens can even bring him in for a physical during this crazy time.
Yeah, no, I agree with you too. I like that pickup, that potential pickup a lot as well, because look, like you said, we got rid of Hayden Hurst, and while our guys are talented, they're also young. It'd be nice to have a veteran presence in there to set the tone. Not that they don't know how to do it. I mean, they're multiple years in the league now, but having that vet around to teach them a thing or two. And he's an all-around guy. He doesn't shade more towards Mark. He doesn't shade more towards Nick Boyle's game. He does them both. He's always been that Swiss Army knife type role. So I think he would be crucial in the locker room, on the field. You could count on him in those big plays and those big moments as a vet. I could envision him in our playoff run making a couple big first downs that you don't go back and realize until 10 years later when you're watching the tape and you're like, dang, that guy was important for us, right?
Yeah. Only had a few catches, but they were big, yeah.
Right, exactly. So I really like that one as well. Is there anyone else that we're missing that you're thinking about could be potential for us?
I mean, I'm looking at the list, and let me just say this: what's shocking is that we have this list in front of us, and it's got their ages and all that stuff, and it's really interesting to see young guys that were high picks on this list, and it's just kind of shocking. Like, I look at Eli Apple, the corner. He's 25 years old. I know he was with the Giants and the Saints. I'm not sure if he was on a third team, but really just surprising all the talent that guy's got, and he's sitting here. I'm sure he'll find a team because he's young and he's got a lot of talent, but man, it's surprising to see him on this list still.
Attitude can make all the difference.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I don't see many others. I mean, Demaryius Thomas is out there, but what's he got left? I know he's got a little bit of size. Justin Britt recently cut from the Seattle, coming back from the knee surgery. I don't think that they would touch him.
I'm going to blow up the comment section with this. Don't forget about 2 people.
Who?
Des Bryant.
Oh, my gosh.
And don't forget, I don't think it will ever happen.
Don't say it.
You don't want me to say it?
Don't unless you're prepared to wash that mouth out with a bar of soap afterwards.
All I'm saying is don't forget about AB84.
Why Why should I not forget about a guy who has no chance of becoming a Raven?
You just never know. Crazy.
Oh, no, I know.
Crazy
No.
happened.
Not than that. And that would be the craziest thing to ever happen to bring in that guy.
You just never know.
I hear what you're saying, but I would be totally blown away if they brought him in with all the irrational behavior that he's been displaying as of late. I would be absolutely shocked to see them. I mean, look at their draft class, who they brought in. They brought in nothing but team captains, leaders, good guys that have squeaky clean, I mean, why would he? It's not like you can bring him in on a vet minimum. The guy's going to want some money. I mean, he still believes in him. Huh?
What about Dez?
What does Dez bring?
I mean, he's a big body red zone threat, period. We don't have one other than Boykin. I mean, we have Mark Andrews, but.
Yeah. And right now, Dez Bryant is slower than me, okay? Because he's coming off an Achilles.
I would beg to differ on that.
All right. Dez, come at me. See me in the street on a race. I'll put on my PF flyers, and we'll see what happens.
Look, I'm just saying, it could happen. So crazier things have definitely happened than signing Dez Bryant. AB, I get your consideration. But I could totally see Dez coming in. Just like we brought in, what's his name last year? Who was it? Michael? Oh, Arizona Cardinals high pick.
Oh, Mike Floyd?
Mike Floyd. It could be a similar scenario. Maybe Dez doesn't look like his legs are falling off when he runs.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they bring him in for a deal where they can cut him and have zero guarantees. I could see that, but other than that, I'd be shocked.
Well, you guys let us know who we left off. I'm sure you're going to let us know that there's a couple of guys that we didn't think about that we should consider, and we welcome that. So please let us know. Are we crazy to think about these guys? Do you like the fits? Who do you see that's out there that we're missing? Give us your take in the comment section below. Let us know. We'll be sure to reply. We always do. We like to engage with you guys. Let us know who we should talk about. If you got any people that are out there that you think we should touch on, once again, mention it and say you want to, give us your argument. And if we think it's worthy of giving some airtime, hey, we might give it some airtime. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe, leave a like, and we will be back soon.
See you.